Welcome to Okoh Television. Today we are having a live conversation with somebody that has the Midas touch. When I mean Midas touch, I'm talking of somebody that is developmental oriented. In fact, this is somebody that has decided to commit his own personal worth in the transformation of his own community in Ekuku Agbor. So, my viewers, let us welcome Pharm Isaiah Okoh into the studio.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers.
So, welcome to Nigeria, first and foremost.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
So, let us meet you formally to my viewers.
Okay.
Let's meet you. Introduce yourself to my viewers.
Okay, my name is Isaiah Okoh. I'm a pharmacist by profession. That's pharmacist by science and clinicals. I'm licensed in Nigeria and the United States. And I'm a real estate developer and I'm a community developer.
You are welcome. Sir. So a lot of persons have actually read so much about you, maybe through the EOB blog, through other means. But the question they keep on asking, let us meet this man. Let us hear him talk. Let us hear him, let him speak to us. So it was based on that I said, don't worry my viewers, don't worry my followers. Today, we are having a live interview session with Pharm Isaiah Okoh. So let's get started the conversation. You have done a lot of work, a lot of good work, a lot of work that are unimaginable. In fact, one from my inbox, somebody said that I want to meet that uncommon transformer in Ekuku Agbor. I said, wow. Now, I believe the person might be watching. Now the person is here. Why are you into philanthropy?
Many people have asked that question, but there's something many people don't understand. We live, but God gives. But if we are created in the image of God, we have to look like God. We have to give. And I've read in the Bible in Acts chapter 20, verse 35, that there's more happiness in giving than there is receiving. Number one. Number two, I believe I have 10 fingers, and every finger has different fingerprints, which I associate with different talents. I believe that whatever I have now, there is somebody who has something different that may change the world. So with whatever I have right now, I have to support everyone because I do not know that person that's going to take us to the next level. I don't know him or her. So that is why I provide support. We call it philanthropy, I call it support. I provide it for the disabled, provide it for the elderly, provide it for the youth, provide it for the children. Like, I just rounded off elementary school, building classroom blocks for a primary school. I do not know where that human being is that's going to take us to the next level. But what I know is it might just be something very insignificant to support, and the person will be in the next level. So that's why I do what I do. Because someday, somewhere, somebody is going to blow us out of proportion.
Just like exactly what we are doing now by blowing Ekuku Agbor out of proportion.
And I have to say this. The house we were sitting in is owned by Mr. Collins Okoh. On the 6th of July, 1991, I rounded off my first school leaving certificate, my elementary school, and my father handed me over to him and said, raise him and see that he becomes successful. The man in question supported me every end of the way, but he never knew that today I will not be building houses to live. I'll be giving houses. I'll be giving cars. And he never imagined that soon I'll be giving out private jets. So he doesn't even think about that. So I am raising people today and supporting people who I know, some of them will be giving out villages, cities, towns, private jets. One of the people will. I don't know who.
Now, let's talk about your community, Ekuku Agbor. You seem to have so much passion. In fact, somebody say you have a hyper energy in measuring your passion. I don't know how your passion will be measured, but from what we are seeing, from what you are doing in your local community in Ekuku Agbor, my question is, what drives you? What gives you that passion? Why are you so passionate about the development of your community, Ekuku Agbor?
Thank you. I'm not developing Ekuku Agbor because it's my community. I'm developing Ekuku Agbor because of the way it was formed. In 1774, people in Agbobi started going and they were searching for a place to farm. Mr. J came here and started farming 1774. So they called it Agbor Echo. And later they called it Ekuku of Agbor. That's why it's here Ekuku Agbor. That is the big Echo, the big farm of Agbor. And I sat down and realized that Agbor is like 25 kilometers from Ekuku Agbor. It has to be giants who came here to farm. So whoever they have as a child is a giant, and we are the grandchildren of giants. So there is nowhere in the face of the planet that the best will come than Ekuku Agbor, because it was the giants who never sat down in the comfort of Ali Shimir, Ali Zomo, Ali Hame, which were close to Agbobi, which is the nucleus of Agbor Kingdom. They went all the way 25 kilometers to farm. They were giants. And I became privileged to be one of the sons of the giants. So that's why I invest in them, because this is the home of the giants. It's not the giants that take up political appointments with the government. These are private giants, giants at heart. So I believe in them with the last drop of my blood.
Now, still believing on your community, Ekuku Agbor, have you in any way occurred to you about the return on investment, considering the massive investment you have really invested in this town? Have you considered the return on investment?
Okay, thank you very much. You know, when it comes to economics, I think when you talk about economics, you call me. We are at the top of the global economics. The whole global economics works down on one principle: trickle-down economics. That means the rich have to be supported so that they provide for the poor. That's how the world works. That's why people go to Lagos to look for a job, because Lagos is being invested on. That's why they started going to Abuja for investment, because Abuja is invested on. But I realized that I have to invent a new style of economics, the grassroots economics, because I'm a product of the grassroots. While people were investing in Lagos, Abuja, London, Frankfurt, Germany, France, United States of America, I was right here in the village. they never had me in consideration. But when I grew up, I got to the United States. I was the pharmacist of the year in 2008, and I was not in the success equation. So I know and remember that in this village, people that are not in the success equation, there are many talents that were abandoned. And I'm building the grassroots economics, which is the different economics from the world economics.
And by building that economics, you started with a very, very mighty hotel, Okoh Towers and Suites. So
Correct. And I want to tell you something about that. In 2008, America suffered recession in 2005, and America did not rebuild the economy by building industries. They did not rebuild the economy by manufacturing anything new. There was only one principle. America came up with a principle. They called it consumer confidence. I was there. In 2008, I was working with Rite Aid Pharmacy, which was a $100 billion corporation. We were part of the rebuilding equation. I was at the top management. And I later went to Kroger Pharmacy, which was a $150 billion corporation in the United States. I knew all they were telling us is let us build the consumer's confidence. They did not talk about building anything new. So I realized we started the cash for clunkers. If you have a car, you bring it back, the government will give you $5,000, add it to the new car you want to buy. If you want to buy a new house, they give you $5,000 towards your new house. People started buying more houses, more cars. If you own the business, they'll be like, we'll give you $5,000 anybody you employ. And the economy came back. We went from $6,700 trillion volume to right now, as I'm talking to you, the US economy, we went from $6.7 trillion in 2008. Right now, the volume of economy is $35 trillion. And that is between 2008 and 2021. In an interval of 13 years, we built an economy with over about, give and take, $7 trillion increase. So after that, I thought, if I was part of this and I saw it work, I'm going to go back to Ekuku Agbor and build the consumer's confidence. And I have to tell you, by January 4th of 2021, 100 by 100 plot in Ekuku Agbor was 400,000 naira. But if you were to find a plot right now in Ekuku Agbor for 2 million, 100 by 100, I'll buy 10. It doesn't exist. So between January of 2021 and today, what's today's date? Remind me. Today's 21st November 2021. You don't even need to tell me. We have gone from a geometric progression in economic progression. So by 2024, which I told the village, I told them between 2019 and 2024, people in America, Spain, and Canada, they will be having a hard time deciding whether to stay where they are or come to tap into the new economy. I'm not talking of Abuja, that's a write-off. They're going to come back here for sure. I'm not talking of Lagos, they are coming back here for sure. I'm more confident than death. I'm serious. But I'm talking of those in advanced economy because I know how money works.
Wow. That, recently, it seemed to be a normal thing for you in organizing a medical outreach program. That healthy living for all. Is this medical outreach program part of the consumers' confidence building?
The truth is, when you're trying to build an environment and stabilize the economy, you have to remember that it is people that will have to enjoy the economy. As it is right now, this year alone, America believes in supporting the weak and vulnerable. Every weak and vulnerable American have been paid over, I repeat, over, I repeat, and I have to say it again, over $10,000 this year to support them because of their loss with the coronavirus. So, medical outreach. For people to enjoy the good things, they have to be alive. They have to be healthy. America does it, Germany does it, Spain does it, Canada does it. When you are trying economic advancement, you have to think about the health and the well-being of people. And being a clinician, I know that the basic problem with people is cardiovascular. If your heart stops, regardless of whether you have high protein, doesn't matter. Whether you're looking good, it doesn't matter. When your heart stops, it stops. When his heart stops, he stops. I have to look for a way to be proactive in keeping people alive, because good things are coming, and I'm more sure than death it will come. People have to be alive to see it. So I keep them alive because they have to see it, because it is coming.
Wow. Now, away from here, let's talk about the Isaiah Okoh University.
Correct.
So what is the vision like?
The vision of Isaiah Okoh University is to provide an education that transforms people towards their liberation from poverty and ignorance. And to provide an education that transforms people towards liberation from poverty and ignorance, the education have to create people to be self-reliant, regardless of what field of human endeavor they take. For instance, our education right now, most of them are public-private partnership. But if you look at the the geometric progression in Nigeria, education in Nigeria is going towards private investment. We have 198 universities in Nigeria currently. 198. 99 are private. And 99 is public. No, 100 are private.
Okay.
And 98 is public. Now, I have to tell you something. The first public university was in 1948, the University College of Ibadan. But the first private university is 1999. So we have a 51-year gap between the private and public university initiation, but the private university is overtaking the public university, right? Yeah. Because the public, we have government that transist. We have government that we don't have a system in place in government. We have government, but it's not a system. So when one governor brings a university, the next governor cancels it. The private university is not like that. It's permanent. So I decided I was going to be part of the way to bring a kind of education that helps people to liberate from ignorance and poverty.
At what stage is this a university in terms of physical and the paperwork, most especially with that of NUC? Are you having any challenges?
No challenges. I mean, you can only have challenges in a university if you have a problem with funding. I could remember on April 22nd when we went for interaction at NUC, and it was 7 universities being interviewed. I remember clearly. It was only one university for South, and Southwest. That was Isaiah Okoh University. And we're given a go-ahead because I convinced the executive secretary, self-funded, and the money is there to get go. So now, that was the third step. Now we are at the fifth step. NUC was here 3 weeks ago, and they attested to the fact that of the 20 universities approved this year, this is the fastest in infrastructural development of the 20, because this university foundation was dug on the 3rd of March 2021. It's barely 7 months. And when they came 3 weeks ago, they even told us we have to slow down and we have enough facilities to take off. So I'm waiting to invite them, which I've paid for the final inspection, and we are taking off. As a matter of fact, they even told me that I could even take off with the hotel. That is enough facilities up in there. So it is depending on me. It is me who is choosing to take off 2022, 23. If I want to take off 2021, 22, we are good to go.
Viewers, can you hear that? Say the Isaiah Okoh University will be taking off 2022-2023 academic session.
Perfect.
That would be wow. So, still on the university, is it going to be fully residential university or off-camp?
No, I do not want to provide off-campus. Institution is going to be fully residential. The reason it's going to be fully residential is it is more comfortable when you travel to Lagos. You don't look for a relative to stay in the house no more. You stay in a hotel, right?
Yeah.
So it's better when you come to the university, you stay in the accommodation that's provided for the purpose of the university. So to avoid distractions and interruptions in learning and development, I decided to provide accommodation for the students.
So Isaiah Okoh University is going to be fully residential university. Now, what are the core faculties that will be the first to take off? Core faculties.
Oh, the core faculties, I have to open it right here. There are 18 departments that have been earmarked to take off, and the 18 departments are, hold on, these actually are the courses that are supposed to take off. But basically, most of the courses are from, okay, there you go, hold on. Most of the courses, these are the courses that are supposed to be taken off.
Can we have a question? Okay.
We're starting off with Bachelor of Science in Accounting, Bachelor of Science in Finance, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Bachelor of Science in Procurement Management, Bachelor of Science in Economics, Bachelor of Science in Broadcasting Journalism, Bachelor of Science in Film Production, Bachelor of Science in Criminology, Bachelor of Science in Architecture, Bachelor of Science in Estate Management, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity, Bachelor of Science in Software Engineering, Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, Bachelor of Science in Biotechnology, Bachelor of Science in Industrial Chemistry, Bachelor of Science in Industrial Mathematics, Bachelor of Science in Physics and Economics. However, we have a 25-year plan for the full development of the university. And the first 5 years, the university will be taken off with the Faculty of Environmental Science, Faculty of Humanities, you don't have to write, I'll send it to you. Faculty of Management and Social Sciences, Faculty of Science and Computing, General Studies Unit. That's the first 5 years. From phase 2, which is this year 6 to 10, we'll be having Faculty of Basic Medicine, Faculty of Computing, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, Faculty of Law, Faculty of Management and Social Science, Faculty of Pharmacy, Faculty of Social Science, Faculty of Postgraduate Studies. In the third phase, which is the 11 to 15 year, we'll have the Faculty of Medicine, Faculty of Education. On the fourth phase, which is 16 to 20 years, we'll have the Faculty of Agriculture. And on the phase 5, the 21 to 25, we have consolidation faculties, department and programs, which will include like certificate programs. So this I'm going to send to you.
Wow.
For your records. So these are approved. The 18 courses for takeoff. And phase 1 is 4 faculties and the general studies unit. I send it to you.
Is it going to be multi-campus system?
No, it's going to be a single campus for now for takeoff, but it's going to be multi-campus because a university requires 100 hectares of land for taking off. And for 100 hectares of land, I did not have it in Ekuku Agbor. So the second campus of the university is going to be in Isokwa. I have like 700 acres of land there where the Faculty of Agriculture for sure is going to be, but the takeoff is going to be in Ekuku Agbor, Delta State.
Now, I don't know. This university something seems to be one thing that is generating so much interest among the general public. So, pardon me if I'm dwelling so much questions on this university.
You don't have to seek for a pardon of excuse. Education helps with the liberation of people from the chains of ignorance and poverty. So, and when you are liberated from ignorance and poverty, you are made in life, regardless of what country or nation you live in. So we can spend all day talking about it, because when you talk about good education, you're talking about good economy. And that's how money works.
So, still on the university, just like as you rightly said that the medical faculty will keep up at the third phase.
No, second.
Second phase.
Yeah, it's on the 6th year after inception of the university. We'll have the Faculty of Medical Sciences. So we'll be dealing with medical sciences. I'm going to send them to you. We'll be dealing with physiology, anatomy, nutrition, dietetics, endocrinology, surgery. We'll be dealing with different medical sciences.
So, away from the university, just a few days ago, you commissioned about 3 multi-million naira projects in Ekuku Agbor. One of them is Ozara Community Hall. The second one was the Ubos residence. The third one was the renovation of your alma mater. That is this is a block classroom at Muzehe Primary School.
Correct.
So, my question is, I don't know how to rephrase this question. People have been pouring a lot of good messages. My inbox, if I'm walking on the street, my phone calls, people have been calling me, oh, we want to meet that guy, we want to thank him, we want to congratulate him. As at the last camp, I've got over, like, going to thousands inbox messages on you. So what have you to tell them?
All right. One thing is sure, when you are growing in life, you have what they call corporate responsibilities. And you have to carry an environment along. That is the principle of public wealth. In public wealth, you have to carry people along. For instance, I could not have a university where people pay almost $1 million in tuition and the parents of the kids come to visit them and they don't have a place to stay. That was why the hotel was built. The hotel was built in anticipation of the sponsors of the rich students that will be coming to the private university. Now, you talk about the Oza Hall. When this university is built, I'll give you an instance. When the foundation was laid February 6th, 2021, 5 petrol stations have been opened in this village between February 6, 2021 and November 21 as we're sitting down today.
Wow.
5 petrol stations. When the foundation was laid on February 6th, the price of petrol in this village was about, people were selling 300 naira, 400 per liter. But in less than 2 weeks, when the 5 petrol stations opened, competition started. Now you go and buy fuel at the regular price. If you don't believe me, try it when you leave. Business started. So the infrastructural development, building an event center for the people, was because the more people stay in this town, there'll be more weddings, more burials. So that's an event center for the Oza people. Because yesterday alone, there was a wedding here, there was a wedding in, there were about 10 weddings in this village. Right? Now you talk about the primary school. The primary school situation is true. When I saw those kids sitting on the floor, I tell myself, if we have to believe on a brighter future, we have to train the leaders of tomorrow. We should stand in the sun and find them because they take care of us when we grow old. So I had to provide a better place for them. And what you just saw was a beginning. When I'm done with those kids, I will treat them like our leaders that they're going to be. By default, either you like it or not, they're going to take over from us. So they have to be strong. Then talking about the house for the king, talking about the house for the king, the king of Ekuku Agbor, right? The king of Ekuku Agbor is in charge of this village. They have to have a befitting place for the seat of government. So that was why I built it. The king takes care of people who clear the streets. He is responsible for people who go for bereavement. The king of this village takes care of many responsibilities. In this Okoyofia, he is the custodian of the ancestral law in this village. That is our Aso Rock. He has to look better than what he was. So that was why I rebuilt it.
So I'm somebody that has been keeping track of your work, of your good work. I know that at least you started with the renovation of the police station.
Point of correction. That was not true. My first public job was providing seats in the classrooms of EOB Secondary School, Agbor, in 2015.
EOB
Secondary School, Agbor. On that glorious day in 2015, January, I was going back to the United States. My brother, Kenneth Okoh, was a teacher in that school. He was taking me back to the airport. He stopped. And I told him, what are those children standing in the classroom? He said they don't have chairs to sit down. I said, okay, provide them with chairs. And he was like, Ekuku Agbor Grammar School don't have chairs. I said, okay, buy them chairs. So I remember it was about 33 three-seater chairs in each classroom. Many were provided for EOB, many were provided for Ekuku Agbor. So the issue you are talking happened in 2019, the police station. That is way before. Many things have happened. Many things had happened that you did not know. And not only that, I got to EOB Secondary School that there are so many teachers sitting down. And I asked my brother, who now is the president of the Association of the Staff Union of Secondary Schools in Delta State. I told him, I don't like the way they look. He said they have financial problems. I released funds. We started providing them loans that they could pay back, providing them with laptops that they paid instrumentally. So the program started in 2015. The masses program you see today.
Started in 2015 from EOB Secondary School in Nabo.
Correct.
So now, in fact, talking about your good work could even take us a lot of time to do. So I want us to talk about the street lights.
The street lights, I was happy yesterday. I saw the street lights. I was sleeping in my house in May of 2020, and I remember that growing up, when my father died in 1983, things were tough. School started at 8 o'clock. Yes. School started at 8 o'clock in the morning. We had to wake up at 6 to sell akamu and akara. Yes, for my mother, to raise money to support us. So my mind told me, we used to go late to school because if you started selling at 6, you finish at 7:30, before you come home and get ready for school, it's late. So I called a friend and said, I want the streets to be bright in Ekuku Agbor because I want the children who are in the same predicament as I was to start selling as early as 5. And that was how the street lights come up. So we put 10 street lights. And I told him, I want you to target a palm wine store owned by Mr. Pharm in Oroma. Let us see the traffic to the palm wine store. He tried it, told me there's heavy traffic, and the rest was history. Provided in the whole village. And if you go to the village today, I know you used to tell people you're from Agbor, but I know in the past 1 year, you, Ewero Konta, you hit your chest and tell people, I'm from Ekuku Agbor.
Very correct.
Yes. You say that because the situation has changed. We do not need the name of any other city to take glory, not even Abuja. No city living on earth do we need for glory, because now we are made.
Now, I want to re-emphasize on one point. Isaiah Okoh, you have heard it from him. He said he was up in the street of Ekuku Agbor. So, the street light project, you also extended it to Agbor. Am I aware of that too?
Okay, in the streets of Agbor, I built a 12-unit apartment complex, and it was a luxury apartment. It was not for regular people. A place you pay about $350,000 in 2-bedroom and above. It was a world-class apartment. And I had to let the whole place be lit. And I cannot depend on epileptic supply of BDC. I had to provide solar-powered street lights so that when the people wake up at any time, there is light for them to live. Because I know it was not ordinary people that was going to live there.
That is marvelous. Talking with you has always been a big pleasure. So, thank you for having this conversation with me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's do it next time again.
Thank you.
So, my dear viewers, you have heard from the horse's mouth. You have heard from Isaiah Okoh, once a hawker, now a world-class pharmacist, a philanthropist, the president of a university. Yes, he's building a university in Ekuku Agbor named Isaiah Okoh University.
Call it the president of the proposed Isaiah Okoh University.
Okay. the president of the proposed Isaiah Okoh University in Ekuku Agbor that is expected to take off from
September 2022.
2023 academic session.
Correct.
So, thank you, my viewers, for listening to EOB TV. Thank you. Thank you once again, sir.
You're welcome.